Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel where I challenge myself to make something new every week. As you may know, I've been on a journey to learn how to decorate cakes over the past couple of weeks. And last time I made a naked cake, which is a cake that doesn't have a lot of icing on the outside. But this time I'm gonna be making a chocolate cake with the whole shebang, with the crumb coat, the final coat, all the coats. This recipe is by Preppy Kitchen, which is a YouTube channel that always has such beautiful cakes. So I'm really excited to learn from his channel. I'm excited, so let's get started. So I'm actually adapting this recipe from Preppy Kitchen's chocolate cupcake recipe. He does have a chocolate cake recipe, but I think it's specifically for 8 or 9-inch pans, and I only have 6-inch pans. But I read that cupcake recipes make the perfect amount for 6-inch layer cakes also. So I'm using a cupcake recipe today. But if you have 8-inch cake pans instead, you can just use Preppy Kitchen's chocolate cake recipe because I'm pretty sure it's just the same recipe but different amounts. For the past couple of cakes that I've made, I've been making a Genoese sponge, where all the rise in the cake comes from beating air into the eggs. But today, I'm making more of an American kind of sponge, where we're using baking soda to leaven the cake. So because of that, the method to make this sponge is a whole lot easier. You just mix together the dry ingredients, and then mix together the wet ingredients, and then mix the wet ingredients into the dry ingredients, and voila! A cake batter! You might have noticed some interesting ingredients in this cake batter, like sour cream and buttermilk. And while it may kind of weird you out at first, they're there for a purpose, which is to help make the cake super moist and delicious. You can also see here that we're adding coffee, but if you don't like coffee, don't worry, you won't be able to taste the coffee at all. It's basically there just to accentuate the chocolate flavor. So this cupcake recipe turned out to be good for 2 6-inch cake layers. So I'll split the batter evenly between 2 cake tins. So since we're doing a Preppy Kitchen recipe, I thought that I would also try one of Preppy Kitchen's most famous techniques, which is using cake strips to make your cake layers more even. So usually when you bake a cake, you kind of have this like dome on the top. But apparently, by using cake strips, you can get the top to be completely flat. You can actually buy cloth cake strips online. But since I'm just trying this out for today, I'm using a DIY version that Preppy Kitchen has on his website with wet paper towels and aluminum foil. So I'll wrap these around my cake tin and then bake them at 350 for about 30 to 35 minutes. But since I'm kind of winging this timing, it might be a little bit different for your ovens, so just make sure to check with a toothpick to make sure that it comes out clean.
Wait, this is disastrous. Oh no, this is disaster. Oh no.
So yes, everything was going fine until I took out one of the cakes from the cake tin. And the cake literally split into 2 pieces. So hopefully this is a lesson for you guys. Make sure you butter and flour your cake tins completely. So I ended up having to make another cake layer, so cue the montage!
the shore, it's right in front of us if we just hold on tight. This vision that I saw is getting closer every dawn. We are dreamers of the shore when we can't read the sky. We just sail with the wind that we've got.
Let's go.
When we're drowning in doubt, just keep on believing. We are dreamers of the.
So after I have 2 intact cake layers, I'll start on the chocolate Swiss meringue buttercream. I wanted to make Swiss meringue buttercream over regular American buttercream because American buttercream is usually very, very sweet. And since I think that the cake will already be very sweet, I don't think we should overdo it on the buttercream.
Standing here a while, just take it all in. Radio's playing our song. Then you stood there smiling at me, as so many times before. I'll never.
Like the name implies, to make Swiss meringue buttercream, we're first gonna make Swiss meringue. To make Swiss meringue, we'll heat up the eggs over a double boiler until the temperature reaches 160 degrees Fahrenheit or until there's no graininess. The no graininess part is very important because try as I might, I couldn't get my eggs to reach 160 degrees, but by 140 degrees or so, there was no graininess in the eggs, so it was ready. When the eggs and sugar are ready, I'll pour them into my stand mixer fitted with a whisk attachment and then beat the eggs on high until we see glassy room temperature peaks. This might take a while, so be patient. And now for the fun part. 1 tablespoon at a time, I'm going to add a pound of butter into the meringue. A pound of butter, you might be thinking. Isn't that too much butter? You know what, I kind of think so too, but that's what the recipe calls for, so that's what we're gonna do. Also, don't be worried if it looks a little liquidy in the middle. Just keep mixing and adding butter. I'll add the rest of the ingredients and then our buttercream will be done. So because the cake strips didn't give us the ultra amazing flat layers that Preppy Kitchen always seems to get, I'll be cutting off the top so that we actually have a flat surface to work with. And then I'll start decorating the cake. So I'm gonna do what's called a crumb coat first, which basically is like this inner layer that traps all of the crumbs on the outside of your cake so that they don't get on your final outside layer of buttercream. I'm definitely kind of winging the decorating process here, although I'm doing my best to follow this guide that I'll link in the description below. But it's definitely gonna look a little weird at times, so please don't judge me too harshly. Anyways, I'll just let you guys enjoy.
hold you in my arms, won't let go. The world around could pass us by, a thunderstorm, a lightning strike, as we hold each other tight. You're the rose in a garden, and it shows if I'm honest. You're the leaves in mid-August.
When the frosting is hardened, we can put on the final coat of buttercream, without any worry that the crumbs from the cake will end up on the outside of our buttercream. So the process of the final coat is pretty similar to what I did with the crumb coat yesterday, except now it kind of has to look good. So I'll just spread buttercream on the top and on the sides, and then use a bench scraper to clean it all up.
You're the rose in a garden, and it shows if I'm honest. You're the leaves in mid-August.
I'll add a few more little decorative details, and then our cake will be done.
You're the rose in a garden, and it shows if I'm honest. You're the leaves in mid-August, and I've come out here to say that I love you. Full stop. Can't believe I live in your thoughts. I think about you all the time, morning, evening, and midnight. Such a wonderful delight. Forgo, give up everything that I own. Yeah, I'd give it all up now, just to be with you somehow. Unexpected love was found. You're the rose in a garden, and it shows if I'm honest. You're the leaves in mid-August, and I've come out here to say that I love you.
Yay, it's time to eat. It was a pretty long process to make this cake, but I'm really happy with the way it turned out in the end. And it turned out pretty good. So let's talk about the positive things first. The cake itself is so delicious. Because of the buttermilk and the sour cream we put in, it's super moist, but also not that sweet. If you've been disappointed in the past about dry cake recipes, you should definitely give this one a try. However, and take this with a grain of salt because honestly, I don't like any kind of frosting, but this frosting tastes like 90% butter and 10% chocolate. Which maybe it shouldn't be a surprise to me because we did dump a pound of chocolate into this. But I don't know, it wasn't my favorite kind of frosting. And after looking online, I want to clarify it's not really the recipe's fault, but all Swiss meringue buttercream tends to taste very buttery. So if you're into that kind of flavor, then I would definitely try Swiss meringue buttercream on your next cake. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe if you guys want to see more. I upload a video trying out new recipes every Monday. Although big asterisk, I am taking a break next week because I'm going to go visit family for a week. And I want to be able to enjoy my time with them and not spend it editing, so I hope you guys understand. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Bye!